يمثل اليوم 15% من الناتج المحلي العالمي، أي ما يقارب 6500 مليار دولار. ووعيا منها بأهمية هذه الثورة الرقمية تنخرط المملكة المغربية بشكل فعال في تشكيل أسس مستقبل تعود فيها الرقمنة ومن خلالها الذكاء الاصطناعي بالنفع على الجميع، حيث أكد صاحب الجلالة الملك محمد السادس حفظه الله في خطابه الموجه إلى القمة الاستثنائية للاتحاد الإفريقي بكيغالي في مارس 2018 أن إفريقيا ماضية اليوم في طريقها لتصبح مختبرا للتكنولوجيا الرقمية، وهي الرؤية المتبصرة التي توجه مبادرات بلادنا وقارتنا. Allow me to continue my presentation in English. Beyond the digital age, toward the next era that is already shaping our economies, our institutions, and our societies. That era is the age of artificial intelligence. This era is not a distant horizon. It is already here, and it is moving fast. At Jeiktix Africa, nearly 40% of all startups present are integrating artificial intelligence into their core products and services. This is not an isolated trend. It reflects a deeper shift, a transformation in the very architecture of innovation. To fully understand what lies ahead, we must briefly look at where AI began. We started with cognitive-centric AI machines designed to infer, built on symbolic logic and rule-based systems. These already systems mimicked human reasoning, but they were limited by rigidity. Learn continuously, plan, reason, and make decisions across domains. The shift from tools to agents is truly profound. In this sense, we are seeing real indicators of a strategic pivot. A global market expected to surpass $320 billion by 2030. Enterprise adoption is accelerating. 70% of major companies plan to integrate AI agents within the next 2 years. Even at the architecture level, major labs like OpenAI, DeepMind, Meta, and Microsoft are moving from models to unified agents. We are clearly entering the intelligence age. We are beyond doubt entering the intelligence age. But the question we must ask is not just when, but how do we enter this era as empowered technology creators? And how do we ensure Africa is truly helping to shape and define this intelligence? And the trust is Africa holds strategic assets that uniquely position it for global AI leadership. We have demographic advantage, young connected generation, fluent in the digital world. We hold over 30% of the world's critical mineral reserves essential to empowering AI hardware and cloud infrastructure. We are seeing growing investment momentum over $1 billion in public-private AI investment across Egypt, Kenya, and Morocco, and we host thriving innovation landscape with more than 2,400 AI and deep tech startups across the continent. But we must also confront the fractures, real divides, and risk reinforcing dependency instead of sovereignty. First, a compute divide. Less than 1% of global data center capacity is in Africa. Second, talent divide. Africa produces just 0.5% of AI research applications, yet faces a shortage of over 10 million AI professionals. Third, data and model divide. 95% of global AI training data ignores African languages and cultural contexts. These divides are not just technical, they are geopolitical, and they call for strategic, collective, and urgent action. Morocco, in this context, Morocco has made a decisive choice not to be a technology maker, but to be a technology, not to be a technology taker, but to be a technology maker and shaper. Under the high directive of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, our national strategy, Digital Morocco 2030, is clear and structured in this way. It rests on two strategic pillars. First, the digitalization of public services, bringing the administration closer to citizens and businesses through more efficient, transparent, and accessible services. Second, the dynamization of the digital economy, supporting and stimulating innovation and creating value-added jobs. But we are not building this transformation on vision alone. We are catalyzing it with actions. The strategy launched in September 2000 The strategy launched in September 2024 is supported by concrete initiatives. The D4SD Hub to coordinate digital and AI development at regional level. The Jazari Institute, regional bridges between research, innovation, and local ecosystems. Massive investment in sovereign digital infrastructure, and a full pipeline from university AI programs to primary school engagement. I will present only two examples. Jazari Institute. Let me share our example of Jazari Institute, which will anchor innovation and skill across all 12 regions of the kingdom, each one rooted in local ecosystem yet connected to a national AI strategy. The first regional institute will be inaugurated in Gelmi Wadnoun, marking the beginning of a progressive nationwide deployment. These institutes are not simply academic centers. They are innovation anchors designed to connect researchers, startups, manufacturers, citizens, and to align on local priorities, from agriculture, water, energy, and mining, with national digital ambitions. Each Jazari Institute is co-designed with local stakeholders embedded in a regional ecosystem and yet fully connected to a national and international AI strategy.
Companies and partners who are actually sharing the same vision that Her Excellency was mentioning, that's our goal. I will only mention one point to emphasize on that. With all of this digital transformation, with all of the data hub that we are actually depending our life on, with all of the transformation towards the cloud, with the sovereign cloud, or with the hyperscalers cloud, it is very important to realize that, yes, by 2030, there will be more than 300 billion investing in AI. However, the attacks that we see from a cybersecurity perspective in 2024 was more than $9 trillion. And this is what takes us by 2025, such attacks, such number could raise to more than $12 trillion. We need to emphasize on the importance of cybersecurity. We need to emphasize on the privacy of data. We need to emphasize on the sovereignty of the data of nations. And this is where the agentics AI, this is where the sovereign AI, this is where many of those aspects need to be embedded in every single government as well as private sector's aspect. And that's why we are here. We cannot achieve this goal ourselves. We cannot achieve this goal as Her Excellency mentioned, by one single entity. We need everybody to help us to achieve that goal. And that's what we are here for. That's the great platform. The third version of Jitex Africa will definitely emphasize on this, emphasize on the importance of AI, safe and secure AI, as well as on cyber security. You will see great startups, you will see great platforms that we are showing, as a matter of fact, in our pavilion, and you will see a great emphasis of this young generation who are actually really eager to leverage.
But also our ability to attract global partners eager to collaborate and invest. What stands out most to me, beyond the sheer size and prestige of this gathering, is the vision. It represents a continent embracing innovation to meet its most pressing challenges, not only from a conventional development path, but by leapfrogging them. Technology offers Africa a unique opportunity to bypass traditional barriers and create solutions adapted to its own realities. Jitex Africa is a catalyst for this transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa has already demonstrated its ability to embrace disruptive fintech revolution is a perfect example.
مشكلة باش تدخل لداخل.
Have given millions access to financial services without relying on heavy banking infrastructure. In 2024, this momentum has only grown. Over 1,200 fintechs operate across the continent, offering services that now go far beyond money payment, including credit, investment, and insurance. Now we must channel the same innovative energy toward other critical areas, starting with agriculture and education, both of which are in the spotlight of this edition of Jitex. In agriculture, food sovereignty is not just a challenge, it is an opportunity. Africa holds over 60% of the world's uncultivated Arab land. Yet, productivity remains low, between 1.5 and 3 tons of cereal per hectare, compared to 9 to 10 tons in some European countries. Bringing this gap is essential, but we must do so with solutions that respond to our specific constraints: water scarcity, underdeveloped transport network, and limited electricity access. Technology is the key innovation in IoT, artificial intelligence, precision farming, and smart irrigation can revolutionize agriculture and secure Africa's food future. As for education, we need to address two challenges. On one hand, it is a rapidly expanding market and a leapfrog opportunity that startups should seize. On the other hand, it is a fundamental prerequisite for the emergence of a robust technological ecosystem in the continent. AI, cloud computing, cybersecurity, and IoT are booming sectors, expected to exceed 14 trillion globally by 2030. If we want Africa to compete in this field, we must invest in our most powerful resource, our talent. By 2030, Africa will have 1.4 billion people, over 60% of whom will be under the age of 25. By 2050, that number will rise to 2.6 billion. To avoid becoming passive consumers and imported tech, we must equip our youth with digital skills. Now, EdTech provides scalable and impactful way to prepare the next generation for digital careers. Ladies and gentlemen, in Morocco we have launched an ambitious digital strategy with 2030 as our horizon. At its core, is talent development. Our goal to train and attract 100,000 digital professionals each year. Moroccan.
ويكفينا فخرا ان تشهد دوره هذه السنه مشاركه اكثر من 130 بعثه رسميه دوليه، 350 مستثمر يبحثون عن فرص جديده للاستثمار داخل السوق الافريقيه، 1500 عارض و600 مقاوله ناشئه. هذه الأرقام ليست مجرد إحصائيات بل هي مؤشرات تؤكد مدى جاذبية المغرب كفضاء للفرص الرقمية وكرائد في الدفع بقضايا التعاون جنوب في الميدان التكنولوجي لمزيد من التوسيع والتكامل لما يضمن الارتقاء بالقاره الافريقيه واشعاعها على المستوى الدولي. ان حضوركم المكثف اليوم ومشاركتكم القيمه باشغال هذا الحدث القارئ المتميز يؤكد على الاهتمام المتواصل الذي تولونه بصفه خاصه بكل المواضيع المتعلقه بالتحول الرقمي باعتباره رافعه اساسيه لدعم السياده الرقميه في بلادنا ولكن بكافه بلدان القاره الافريقيه تشجيع الانتاج المحلي بحلول تكنولوجيا وتعزيز قدرات الابتكار في مجال الذكاء الاصطناعي والامن السيبراني والحكومه الالكترونيه والتكنولوجيا الماليه، ذلك في افق خلق بيئه رقميه حاضره متكامله قادره على مواكبه التحولات العالميه ومواجهه التحديات اليوميه المشتركه. حضرات السيدات والساده، يعتبر تنظيم بلادنا لمعرض جيتكس افريقيا فرصه سانحه لتسليم مجهودات جباره تستبدلها كل الاطراف الحاضره معنا في هذه المناسبه من قطاعات ميزانيه وهيئات ومؤسسات عموميه وفاعلين القطاع الخاص في ميدان الانتقال الرقمي ومختلف ابعاده وتخصصاته من خلال عرض انجازاتها الرقميه والتعرف على افضل الممارسات العالميه وانفتاح الاسواق الجديده. من جهه اخرى تسلط الدوره الثالثه لمعرض جيتكس افريقيا المغرب على الضوء على مجموعه من المواضيع الاستراتيجيه التي تعكس ديناميه التحول الرقمي في القاره الافريقيه وتوجهاتها المستقبليه، حيث تتمحور هذه النسخه حول قضايا محوريه الشمال، الذكاء الاصطناعي وتطبيقاته في قطاعات متعدده كالصحه والتعليم والصناعه والامن السيبراني، الخدمات الذكيه التكنولوجيا الماليه والصحه الرقميه. كما تشكل هذه الدوره محط رئيسي للتفكير المشترك حول سبل تسريع التحول الرقمي في ضوء التحديات المستقبليه الكبرى في مقدمتها الاستحقاقات القاريه المقبله وعلى راسها تحضير الاحتضان بلادنا كافعال 2030 والتي تمثل فرصه تاريخيه لتثبيت مكانه المغرب كبلد رائد في الرقمنه وتنظيم التظاهرات الكبرى. وفي هذا الاطار حرصت هذه الدوره على ادراج محور سبورتيك ضمن محاورها الاساسيه لما له من اثر ايجابي على تطوير المنظومه الرياضيه الوطنيه وتشجيع وتعزيز جاهزه البنيه التحتيه والخدمات المرتبطه بالقطاع الرياضي انسجاما مع الديناميه الكبرى التي يعرفها المغرب وفق المواعيد العالميه الكبرى. حضرات السيدات والساده، تشكل المقاولات الناشئه احدى الركائز الاساسيه لهذه الدوره الثالثه من جيتكس افريقيا، حيث تميز هذه المنظومه بديناميه قويه تجسد روح.
Jitex Africa in Morocco is no longer the new kid on the block. Not only is it the largest tech and startup show in Africa, we can safely and proudly say it is bigger than any other tech show in Europe. Jitex Africa is now a global event. And it ranks high, it is highly respected, it is highly referenced by countries, companies all around the world on how Morocco and Africa has done it. I think we're talking about a 3-year achievement right here. We only launched Jitex Africa Morocco in 2023. This is a region that is very much overlooked and understated. Jitex is the largest tech and startup brand show event tech brand in the world. Yet we chose to launch globally first right here in Africa, where it's the hardest continent for any event, let alone to create the most outstanding event for the world. And because we believe in the overpowering motivation of the people, the governments, and that great, tremendous one to win and to conquer and to rise above. The human intelligence here is probably one of the highest in the world. Just as many companies have put Africa as the last of their mind, Jitex has proudly put it as the first choice, first pride and first love. And this is why we've chosen to grow globally, putting Africa first here as our home in the universe. And I think as we look forward to see where we are going, when you look outside here, Jitex Africa, as Mr. Chakim has said, is not an exhibition, it's not a summit, it's not a gathering. It's an African universe outside.
It's 24 halls, the biggest in the region, of enthusiasm, passion, raw emotion and talent of Africans out there wanting to show the rest of the world what they're made of. But importantly, is that openness that's out there in 24 halls of wanting to learn, share and collaborate with the rest of the world to rise above. For us, more importantly, as Jitex and the mission of the government of Morocco and our African colleagues here is to firmly place Africa on top of the global tech stage, along with some of the most advanced technology economies in the world. Because this is where Africa deserves, and this is where it should be placed.
Thank you very much. You may now proceed to your seats in the audience as we proceed with the rest of the agenda. Let's give them a round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen.
شكرا للمشاهدة. سنسعد باشتراكك بالقناة وإعجابك بالفيديو ومشاركته وتعليقك عليه.